Let there be peace and love. Welcome to Satsang. When there is nothing, it's peace. When there is something, it's a wave. And the expression nothing, it's a way to describe something we cannot catch, conceive and feel or experience. That can be only what we are, what I am in reality. And a something is always a dress, a color, an attribute, a quality. And from there is the multiplication ad infinitum of descriptions and identifications with whatever is presented. That's why it's urgent not to suffer because of the multiplication. One has to recognize, but not as the mind recognizes, that the real nature cannot come and go. Otherwise it belongs to this world of appearances. And to be aware that there is something like appearances, you must be somewhere else to be able to see. So that's the direction of what you are. What will end the misery of this humankind, of every personal life. To, as I repeat, don't conceive a life which will hereafter become like heaven, means only good things. As it is an appearance, there is birth and death. Always it will show up like that. The end of the misery is the end of the confusion. The end to think that I who belongs from this world is real by nature. And that's priceless. That's worth to search for, and rather to understand that one has not to search, because you are already that, even listening now. It is just overlaid by all what we think, all what the body senses and the heart, emotional heart feels, and what the mind idealized. So let's be freed from the tyranny of these appearances. Here there is nothing. Not that it is nothing, but there is nothing that can be lost. Nothing which is ever absent. So when there is nothing, It's peace. How do you say sukha?
Yes.
And once you enter into satsang, or you run away, because there is a kind of intuition that what is the price of giving up is too much, or you stay, even if there are resistances from the mind who tries not to invade the so-called personal life by satsang, but it's too late. It's too late. It will even invade everything. Unless you build a very strong attachment to something else. Which is always possible if one is not vigilant. Or if one is not taken by the attraction, the love to just to be oneself. You see, the tradition has always some good base in it. But it's called a tradition when it becomes a system or a ritual. For example, they say you have to be detached because they understood very well if you are attached, you have no space to go for something else. Or you have to be desireless, because they understood again very well that if you are run only by desires in the world, in the senses or in the mind, there is again no space to make grow another desire, which would be for liberation, for being freed from the hypnotism of desires. But then the way they show is a practice which goes from outside to inside, probably, most of the time. But what satsang proposes is to say the same thing, have only as a priority, have only one desire, make the point that, or just you cannot help to desire for freedom first, this life. So in this case, it's quicker, it's a shortcut to see what is the mind, what makes me believe I'm not free. And you will also always see some emotions from the past or some concepts which are for the future. And so that, as you have to spot it, oh, it's mine. Wherever I go to the past or to the future or to the so-called present of time, which depends on past and future, it is the mind. And I'm not the mind. What I am in my true nature is not called the mind. It is not limited by a sudden appearance and a sudden end. That's a shortcut to ruin the hypnotism or the tyranny that we allowed from the mind. It will be ruined. And what will be left? What do you think it is? Et voilà. Now it's your turn.
Ganga.
Where are you? Yes.
Many times in the past, there's always, I call it a feeling, otherwise I can describe it.
Yeah.
That is, that's hard to describe. It's like warmth, love. It's really very, very strong.
Mm.
It could last for days and then it was gone again. Some years later it was there again. And lately it's increasing. And what I say, it comes and goes, it only becomes stronger.
Yeah, that's your luck if it becomes stronger, because then your will or your belief that that it has not to be there will go away. Because in fact, you see, what we call the love, or what the love, let's say the warmth of the love, whatever, of course it is an expression, but you cannot put an object to it, it looks like. So it's an expression of what you are. The thing is, don't confuse that for it. But it is not to be rejected. Just be invaded by that, because through love, through devotion to what you are, the I who was so much a doer or so much a somebody can melt, can disappear. So don't worry about the intensity also. It's also a trick of the mind, that it's unbearable. Unbearable if somebody wants to remain as a somebody.
It is not unbearable, it's just
Yeah, you love it. Or it's just there.
there.
And if you see well when it goes, first of all, as I said, it's an expression, so it has to come and go. But it doesn't mean that the love comes and goes. That type of expression comes and goes. Yeah. Welcome. So, any question? To be the sugar or to taste the sugar. You know that one. But it's an illusory choice, you see. One cannot, if he runs after liberation, he cannot choose to taste the sugar. He has enough. He has enough of it. And paradoxically, when you make the choice to be the sugar, it looks like the experiences are quite sweet. But you know very well that your happiness doesn't depend on that taste. That's a big difference. Big difference.
Ganga.
Yes.
It's touching on the subject. It's what I wanted to hear about.
Yeah.
I guess this is where I find myself at the moment. Right in this moment, I feel such a strong burning desire for freedom,
Yeah.
which I feel has never left me all my life. However, it seems to be more clouded over at times,
Yeah.
sometimes and other times.
Yeah.
It's not particularly an experience I wish to keep, because this burning and longing can be quite
Yeah.
strenuous,
Yeah.
let's say also. But is there anything more to say about being one-pointed? Because even one-pointedness comes and goes.
Yes, my dear. So don't do it. What remains? If you are not one-pointed on a certain goal, what was before? Keep quite there, maybe. Can you lose that? So whatever looks like covering it are clouds. And you don't look, you are not someone looking at the clouds, you're the sky. There is no clouds if there is no sky. And the sky is always there.
I've had some illusions, I think, again.
Where?
Disappeared while I've been here in Alhambras.
Okay. But you are here, huh?
I'm here.
So it's when you came that the illusions left. No? Did I understand
Don't
you?
follow.
No, me too. I'm so sorry. You found that there is some illusions?
I expressed
Yeah.
a dream
Yeah.
that I had to you the
Yeah.
other night. I guess some utopian idea
Yeah.
has vanished.
Yeah. What a luck. That's why maybe you can hear. Listen. The desire for freedom means to just, let's say, this common word, but I can't have another one, realize that you are prior all this search and the torments of the search and the findings and the whole thing which are movements of the mind. So finally the utopias vanishes and all that, and finally you are what is left when it is going on, and when all this disappears too, is the same, which is always there. That's what you are. So there is no point to be one-pointed. There is no point to be vigilant in order to realize. No, after is so much, the mind is so much in love with that when it reappears, that he wants to be vigilant. He wants not to go again into all this as a belief. Yeah. So have you to search more? All those years you search, have you to search something more? No. So now, my suggestion is, love it more and more. So that this print invades other prints. Yeah. Great. Good, you can.
still I go to the mind.
No, the mind appears to you. When the mind appears, you don't need to go there, unless you are in circumstances where you just respond or react or act, whatever. But then after that, where are you left? And if you feel you went to your mind just now, it must be that there is some attachment or some curiosity still. So try to spot what it is, if it is worth to keep it.
I think the attraction is that the I will still work something out.
Through habits, because he did so much.
Yeah.
Yes. It will show up a little bit like a hen when the head is cut, she still runs. It's that only. It's very impressive to see that. Yeah. So you're not that hen. You see, it's normal that this happens also, because we are born with a certain I and something, I and a belief, I and a leg agency. And with any search, this I generally changes dresses and becomes a businessman or a mom or this or that or whatever, a pirate. And then to come also, suddenly I'm a seeker. It's also a dress. But that one somehow is taken very seriously, because of course the rest was nothing. I am a seeker after truth. I'm an elite in this universe. And I will be a hero, of course, because I will find something great, the greatest gift ever. And so you keep the company for years of that. So when that seeker is seen for a mirage, he tries to show up, but be completely invaded by yourself. Don't suddenly be distracted by this habit too quickly. You see, abide in yourself enough not to even ever move once it is appearing, because it will always reappear. Or it can always. You see, when you are left alone with yourself, without movement of your mind, it can happen at a moment. And you are a seeker after truth. When the mind reappears, don't be impressed by his words like, I don't know, I still don't know who I am, or whatever. Because when the mind reappears, it means it comes from where you are. It cannot conceive it, it can never know. It's not the mind. Realization doesn't mean it's the mind which will realize. That's why it's very difficult to have a word for that. So don't be impressed by the talk of the mind. But that has to really be well seen, so that it's once for all. You are not impressed by the talk of the mind, whatever it is. Mm. Because some say, I don't know who I am. Being really at peace, because it's very clear that the mind cannot know. But some say, I don't know who I am, and search for it. Search to know one day, or to still something has to happen so that I will know. Yeah. Big difference. It's from different places, you see.
That felt very strong in me, because I feel like this question, who am I, has been with me since childhood.
Yeah.
I guess, I still figured I was going to come to some conclusion, some answer.
You will, but not in your mind to ask, who am I?
And the mind can't even take that.
No.
What did you say?
Yeah, but good. Okay. You see, Wemai could be considered as the ultimate question, because its answer is, or its answer shows up while the question disappears.
Can you repeat that?
Or who am I? It is still the mind who can say so, isn't it? A serious seeker, or the one who is ripe enough now to ask, oh yeah, I see, this is the essential to ask, is to question the subject. Mm-hmm. I always question objects, but now, okay, I know I have to question the subject. So it is still in the mind, that search. But the particularity with this question, all other questions have some answers, but objective answers, let it be conceptual, emotional, or as an experience, sensual. But this question has an answer, of course. But it will be where the question disappears. Because the question is subjective. The subject is into. If you ask a question objectively, there is always some answer, better and better and beyond, you see. object. This is unique. It's subjective. So it leads you where it arose. And that's always there. That's what you are. Okay. Yeah.
In the scriptures, in the old Bhagavad Gita and this, they always talk about the purification of the mind. And isn't it not listening to the mind the ultimate purification?
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as you uttered that, I felt it's giving up concept. And this is the best purification, the most efficient. Because all other practices about that suppose that what one purifies is real. That is the truth. But no doubt that it looks like most of us have to pass through all those practices to see it doesn't work. And then to come to satsang where there is nothing to chew, hopeless, helpless, exhausted, livid. To hear. You are working on some utopia, on some ghosts which never existed. So, keep quiet. Where you already are. And don't think, don't go into any movement of thinking. Don't go into any movement of body. Just a split second, it is enough. It is enough to show that I am not what was not there and suddenly appears and what disappears. You see, it's once you are sure about what you search, it's very good to keep a few sentences which are like out of the normal vocabulary of the masters. For example, Ramana said, "Who am I?" But with such a aliveness. Papaji said, "Keep quiet." I had another one. Nisargadatta Maharaj said, prior to consciousness. Would I understand that? Prior to consciousness. So chew them. Let them work in your cocoa, in your heart, and your coconut. Chew those, and then have an experience, and then ask in satsang, and then this and that. You have to chew. If you cannot remain without chewing, of course. Wang Po was telling, don't think, oh, then I'm stupid. No, you chew and try to understand what they meant. And don't digest the answers. Yeah.
You just said something about prior to consciousness.
It's there prior your question. You went into something, no, asking this question. You enter into a movement, yeah? And what was there before? You can't think. What's coming next?
until now it's like this, that I really have to use my will to stop it.
To stop what?
To stop, not to go into something.
Okay.
Really,
Why don't you call it my desire for freedom doesn't want me to go to a movement of the mind?
Mhm.
Is it not
Yes.
fitting?
Yeah. It's, yeah. Mhm.
Then do it. Yes, at least you have to counter, how you would say,
Counteract.
act the habit to go
Yeah.
into the mind.
Mhm.
See, for a while, just
Mm.
I don't want to go there because it's freedom I want. It's not
Yeah.
what the mind will present me.
Mhm.
Mm?
But it's a kind of force. Really,
Then a
it's-
desire is not a force.
the desire, yeah, okay.
The urgency
Yeah.
to realize what's real.
Mm. Okay.
It's better to use that word.
Yeah.
And more your desire will be strong, more you will not enter into habits of the mind. Or more you demystify that they are habits only. And they belong to the body, to the mind, to a person, yeah? And you are questioning that person. Who is this I? Is there any I if I don't put some belief on it? Is there?
I don't know, now it's...
You go and see.
Now I cannot. It's,
Why? Where are you?
now it's... Nothing is here now. It's,
Okay?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Because you are in habit to wait for something interesting. Or something you don't like, but still you wait for something.
Still
So-
waiting.
Yeah. So there is nothing. It's also extraordinary. Because what realization will not happen anyway there in this mind, which shows something or which shows even nothing. But when you are in nothing, then the habit to focus for the mind suddenly cannot focus on anything. There is nothing. So it can take maybe better, what is this? I who sees nothing. It is the benefit of not being all the time with something.
And the benefit also.
The benefit, yeah.
Yes. I always wait also for the benefit. Yeah, if I do something, then I want to receive something.
Yeah, you want to realize, no?
Yeah.
But that's okay. Even so, it doesn't. It's still okay. Because that desire falls apart when you realize it. But don't put your realization in time. This is the trouble.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no problem to want to realize. Oh. But you always make it in the future. Why?
No, I say now.
Ah, no.
Yes.
Then what? No.
Yes. Yeah, now it's always now, and so I don't want it in the future. I always want it now.
And what prevents you to? You wait for
Maybe
something.
I'm too small, maybe.
Too small. I must say that you are really not too small. But you see, you put a dress on you.
Yeah. Mm.
Even if you would think I'm too big, it would be the same trouble.
I think also sometimes.
So you see? And now if you just remain as I, let's forget about too small and too big. I. There's nothing to do with your body. Ramana Maharshi was lying down. Yeah, he didn't get ready. I is not in the body. Where is I?
There is I,
Where is it?
the I.
Yes.
There is the I. I cannot find it at the moment.
So it can disappear.
Yes.
What comes and goes, it's not real. And how could you see it disappears and you're still there?
I don't want to think now, so.
No, I don't want you to think.
Yeah.
Good, don't think. Don't
Yeah.
think. Like that, don't think.
Now I feel my daughter behind because she was doing this.
But that's the body.
That's my husband.
It's the body. If you are distracted by small thing,
Yeah.
what is more important?
To realize.
But then why you are distracted so easily?
Yeah.
It's quite easy to say it's the realization is my priority,
Yeah.
but you have to honor it, or you have to act according to your big words, huh?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's true. Otherwise, thousands of people say, I want to be liberated. It's in the fashionable now.
But I wanted to
Yes.
realize.
Okay, but
And
that's
I
why
do
I
it.
speak to you.
Mhm.
That's why I speak to you.
Mm.
Huh? You now you live according to this priority.
Yeah.
Your daughter will do that anyway all day, and you will be there. But
Yeah.
for satsang, it's just about this subject.
Yeah.
You can spare this much time, and it doesn't matter if she does it, but you don't need to be distracted.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You will have enough time to be distracted, and it's okay too,
Mm-hmm.
because we need only a split second of non-distraction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm. Thank you.
You want to ask something? You are new to me, no? Hi. Hi. The other one. You want to ask something or you are fine?
I think I'm fine.
You have not to think to say I am fine. You say I'm fine before thinking. Then I will be convinced. And no? Yeah, you are.
Yes,
Please.
Please. Thank you.
Not yet.
Yes, I have been searching.
You come near here, please. I will see better your face. Because with the light it's a bit dark.
Yeah, I've been in satsang
Yes.
for constantly for the past 3 months,
Great.
and I feel that the listening has changed. My way of listening
Sure.
now is more like intuitive and doesn't go with the thinking too much of understanding the words or.
Okay.
But when I'm out of satsang, there is a moment of questioning the satsang, doubts, and the ego come back and say to me that that's not the thing for me, and that it's very arrogant, and then also goes into the world speaking about satsang. Basically, it doesn't really keep quiet, as
Okay.
Papaji said.
Yeah.
As always to interact in a way. I don't think it's wrong because I always meet some sort of recognition from the other one if I speak in a language that I heard in satsang.
Yeah.
But it's also rejected sometimes. So I don't know where is that I'm pushing and why I need to just go and speak about it.
You may like to teach.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes it just arises. Yeah.
It's a bit early.
Yeah.
Let it choose you rather than you choose to teach. Let that choose you or not. You understand?
Yeah, I think so.
It's better to keep quiet. Keep quiet, and after anyway, it's not your choice if you speak or not. You see. And you will not even say that you are a teacher then.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of identification with the teacher.
Yeah, okay. Okay, but you know it, and you know that it is not really satsang if there is a teacher teaching. Yeah?
Yeah.
It is a course or it's an information given by a teacher. But satsang, it has to come from the same place they speak about. The same place where they point out to the direction which is given. It has to come from that same place. The self speaks.
The empty space.
I don't describe it.
There's no description for it. It can't be.
Tell me, is there a description of what you are?
Because I'm very many diverse things. I'm so many things, and I change constantly.
Yeah, and 3 months ago what you were doing? Something else.
Yes.
So you want to continue to change?
No. I want to be here. I just want to be quiet. And sleep.
But then keep quiet, don't speak. But don't go in retreat not to speak. Don't speak anywhere you are. Respond to circumstances. Don't speak on that subject. You are not allowed to. You are not allowed to speak about truth if you don't know what it is. It's much better. But your quietness may speak better. So be vigilant.
It's like one thing that I recognize is that I go on and off in a dream state. I recognize when I'm sleeping and when I woke from the dream. It feels like I'm in a dream. It feels pretty much I'm in my dream all the time. I don't know if this is like glimpses or what is this dream-like quality of life, you know? That I feel like I can change the course of it.
Really? You're better than God.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. No.
Keep quieter. Keep quieter. You see, you have an experience that all this looks like a dream. Very good. But then make something out of it. Keep quieter than to be attracted or hypnotized by this experience.
Yeah. So it's the hypnosis of the mind.
Yes, of the experience, yeah. And the conclusions of the mind, yeah.
This also idea of the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Good, you spoke a little bit.
I just would like to express something.
Yes.
So like I had this thought like that I'm getting weaker and weaker and I will soon die. Like this is my feeling the last few weeks or months.
Okay.
And but somehow now on the satsang it was like I saw it was also just one thought. And maybe the fact to say maybe I will die or like my body, this is my feeling.
Yeah.
In my body.
Yeah.
But not anymore. There is no, it's not there anymore, this.
That thought is no more.
Yeah, yes. I have the same feeling in my body, but it's like, so just this.
You don't consider anymore that thought, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes. You are wise. Good. And you see, if you don't consider a thought, where are you left? I don't even have to hear, I don't know. You don't even answer.
I just want to express.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel satsang is confusing for me.
Sometimes what is confusing? The subject.
Here in satsang.
Yeah. Okay.
And also I feel I can't read Papaji's book because I make contacts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you see, that's why there is satsang alive, is then to be able to read Papaji's book really. Otherwise you will understand with your mind.
I would like to practice it.
Not to be with your mind.
Yeah,
It's very easy.
not for me.
It's a concept. It's a concept. The attachment you have to your mind is expressed like this. It's not possible for me, but you forget to say because I love it so much.
I don't know.
Yeah, then what else could it be? What else could it be? You see, one loves also to be in big trouble because it gives a sense of a personal existence. It's basic. One even prefers to suffer than to be free sometimes because it gives a sense to, I am someone. So come to satsang. Yeah. You will love to read Papaji then. And you know, if there is a confusion, it is a confusion of different concepts you have. It's a fight between concepts. So it looks like more confusion now. But come again. Come again. You will see that can go. Don't run away before. What did you pick up from Papaji that you like?
I read lots before.
No, but one thing.
Yesterday I just opened it.
Yeah,
And,
good.
And there was an answer to one of my questions.
Oh, you are lucky. And then why now you suffer? Why don't you stay with that answer?
I don't know. I can have listened to attachments, but
And what was the
I hate
answer?
it.
May I hear? The answer? May I hear?
the difference between just the sentence about the I and the identification.
Okay.
Because you use the I do, it's a concept, I don't like to continue.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You can ask me questions also, huh? It's also part of removing confusion.
Okay, I have another. But it's an expression also.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm blocking all my thoughts.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of keeping, right?
Instead of?
Keeping quiet.
Ah. So you like to be busy. But it's true that when we are so used to work with this tool, the mind, that of course you hear keep quiet. First of all, you don't understand, and then in one moment you think you understand, and then you fall into a state of quietness, which comes and goes anyway. And so after you are confused, what does it mean? So you will keep quiet the moment you don't land on any concept or experience or emotion. Means when you will not fix it because you like it, because you are attached to it, or because you believe it's real. That is the direction of keeping quiet. Yeah.
Attraction to be in the company of the self seems to grow every day. I don't know how to say it. A lot in the mind has been demystified, but what comes up very strongly over the last few weeks is the comment of the mind that I don't do enough, that I don't make enough use of the fact that this life is meant for this.
Yeah. So do more then. Going soon?
October 7.
Oh, it's long.
Yes. A little longer than.
Thank you very much.